Welcome to On the Way to School, your 6-minute daily boost for educators and administrators. I'm Christopher S. Dennis, and today, let's elevate our journey together. Good morning, folks. Welcome to On the Way to School. We're on the other side of a huge milestone for the podcast. We are past 1,000 downloads, so let's snap fingers, wave our hands for that. That's really cool. I appreciate everybody who has given 6 minutes, at least even once, to check out the podcast and see what's going on. We're still not even at 50 episodes, and I am confident by the time we get to 100 episodes, there'll be a nice predictable rhythm of what On the Way to School is all about. But maybe we're already there, and if so, I'm glad that it's been able to offer some value. So, today in our country, we are one day before the election for 2024. And, I actually turned in my mail-in ballot this weekend, and it's exciting. It's exciting because to be able to participate in this civic duty that we all have to try to participate in this collective community of our city, of our state, of our country is really special. And it's exciting to do your part. I definitely needed to phone a friend on a couple of the measures, and there's a lot of judges on the ballot here in LA. But I definitely had to really think about my sources of information again, even though I think all of the dollars that have been spent by the campaigns has definitely flowed through my mailbox. I mean, I've got so many mailers from, different judges, the district attorneys, and everyone to try and plead their case. So, but when it comes down to circling or bubbling in your choice, you've got to be confident. And it makes me think about something I saw this morning from Morgan DeBon of Blavity. She talked about, business owners need to prepare for the outcome of the presidential election in either direction. They need to think about how it's going to affect their business. They need to think about how it is going to affect, their clients. They need to have a best case scenario and a worst case scenario kind of game plan for their business. And that was really interesting. This is the first time I'd heard kind of someone from the entrepreneurial lane speak on it, because at schools, I think we've been preparing and thinking about it for at least 18 months, more or less. I know that, we've sent some things out to both families and to employees at our school. And today in chapel, our chaplain's going to make an announcement of just preparing folks to try to be civil and respectful. But I think it's healthy just to really sit back and imagine for ourselves as individuals, what are we going to be able to use as our North Star through all of this, no matter what happens? Because I think if your particular candidate wins, are you going to just let your shoulders down? Or are you going to relax? But we always prepare for the things that we need to worry about and fret on if our candidate loses. So I'd like us to think about if your candidate wins, what's your next step? For me, I had a conversation with some young Black boys, and we talked about the sexism at play on top of the racism and all kinds of other things happening in the campaign. And, I shared a story of someone, my barber who's voting red, and I'm voting blue. And I said, after the election, if my candidate wins, when my candidate wins, it'll be my job to continue to talk to my barber and help him get on board with the policies and some of the things, and show him that there's room for him in this journey. And I think that's important for us to remember. Once, good or bad, once things happen, you got to find a way to get people on board and bring folks back to this collective experience as united as we can be. And I'm hoping people do the right thing in the ballot box. In the booth, when they get in there, I'm hoping they do the right thing, regardless of all of the connections and things that they've got socially among people. But I really hope that we do what's best for this country. And and take the ground that is filled with purpose and hope and not deficit fear-mongering mindset. That's just what I feel. That's what I feel. And at this point, I don't have any sponsors on my podcast, so I can say that, Harris Walls, folks, let's get in the ballot booth and get it done. I think it is a critical time to understand that not only is it our job to get this done tomorrow on Tuesday, but it is our job to follow through for the entirety of the presidency and beyond. I think if we have an opinion, we have to pour in with our time, our treasure, and keep communicating. Something happened to all of us in the pandemic where we stopped, having the dialogues and doing the hard parts of the conversations early. I think we rush to have the hard part of the conversation a little too late these days. So let's take our time and continue to have the dialogue even after our collective sighs of relief come through this election season. So, just a little morning politics for us, folks. You didn't know you tuned into that show, but, I think as school leaders, as educators, we can still do our part in more ways than we realize. But let's start by making sure we do what we need to do in the ballot booth. So, all right, folks, hopefully this is a little something to get you ready for this week. It's going to be a great week, but I'll catch you tomorrow on the way to school. Take care. Thanks for joining me on the way to school. Stay inspired, stay motivated, and keep making a difference. I'm Christopher S. Dennis. See you tomorrow.